right. Well, I'm Scott Purcell, behind the camera at the moment. Got my buddy, my beekeeping buddy, Mike Tamas, here to help me out. We're in the what we call the Trails End apiary in Cameron, where we're going to make some adjustments, some improvements, and we're going to install a new beehive today. First thing we're going to do is install this empty hive box that we ordered from horizontalhive.com. And it's a 14 frame lay-ins hive with lots of bells and whistles. It's a fancy thing. Before we do that though, we're going to do some adjustment to the support there, the stand. We're going to add the 2 cinder blocks on the ground, stack them up in the middle for middle support. We're going to slide the hive on the left, which opens to the left, to the end. We're going to leave the hive on the right where it is, because its opening goes to the right. And this hive on the ground, it will open to the back. And so we'll be able to work all 3 hives from the front side of that bench. But we have to get that middle support so that those timbers don't start sagging over time. Another thing we're going to do, these hives, the last time I was out here, I realized that those pedestals are too low for my back to be comfortable working them for a long time. So we're going to add 2 cinder blocks for each of those. Over here, we're going to trim up some of the tall grasses there on the side. Get those out of the way, because that's where one of the entrances goes. We're also going to, oh, we didn't bring the level. I knew, oh, maybe it's in the bucket. We'll check the bucket. But we're going to try to level any of these hives that are not level. And I guess worst case scenario, I might stop recording. We may use the phone as a level, because I think it has that feature. And I think that's about all. We may grab a peek inside some of them, but that's not a high priority, because I did grab a peek of them earlier this week when I was checking for whether they were honeybound or whether they're whether they have room for the queen to lay. Now, the swarm trap that has a colony in it is on that tree in the background. So I'm going to zoom in here. I'm not going to move the tripod back there, because there's probably no stable surface to set it on. It's kind of uneven and rough, but I'm going to try to get the camera so that you can view us going back to take that down. But I'm not going to do that just yet, now that I've set the camera up. Instead, we're going to get the hive installed so that those bees have a home. So let's start with our installation, correction of the pedestal, and installation of the new hive. All right, need to get gloves on. I've got the smoker going. You've probably heard it said that the larger colonies tend to get meaner. I think that is the case with this one on the left. When I last worked with it, they came at me pretty hard. Not like an Africanized colony would, but like a large colony with lots of guard bees would. So I think that's all that's going on. I'm hoping that since I'm not lifting the lid, I'm not moving frames, they won't be too hard on us. But it's because of the possibility that we suited up today. All right, so I'll do this part. I'm just going to try to slide it. All right. Whew. All right, so we need to take the smoker, move the camera, and just be ready to lift and carry.
Carry the smoker.
Yeah, I'll let you carry the smoker. I'll set up the camera over here. Go ahead and walk to the right there where you don't get bogged down in the mud. Gotta find a good angle for the camera. This may be about the best we can do. All right, video's still playing. Let me zoom in a little. All right. So this is not a very large colony, I think. Whoa! Oh, that was almost bad.
Bad for you or bad for the bees?
Both. So the swarm trap is labeled as Poppy's bees because it's also got my phone number on it. And since this is destined for the internet, I'm not going to show that. If you want my phone number and I know you, you can ask and I'll give it to you. All right. See if I can get this out. But at any rate, I thought my grandkids would get a kick out of it being called Poppy's bees. And in fact, they don't seem to care very much at all. So I renamed my apiary Blackland Prairie because both this apiary in Cameron and my home apiary in Hutto are both in a region of Texas called the Blackland Prairie. So I think you can see in the camera the top of these this is nicely sealed up so there are no bees on the lid, as is typical for lay-ins. Now this is the front, and I would expect that there's probably more comb built up on the front. So I'm going to start actually on the back wall, and we're just going to, there are some bees. This was a sheet of foundation, and they've just started to build up build out the cells at the top. We're just going to put that in here. And the bees are going, wait, where is this? I don't know this place. All right. This should be a fairly quick and easy transfer. All right, what do you see there, Mike?
Well, I see capped honey at the top.
Uh-huh.
I see brood in the middle.
Yep.
And they've got room to grow.
Maybe. Some of those brood cells that have been vacated are being filled with nectar.
Yes.
So.
How heavy is that?
Not very.
Pretty light.
Because it's so short. Probably about what, 30% drawn. Now I'm not particularly looking for the queen, although I'll certainly be glad to see her if I do. And maybe I should. But I'm going to assume that once we get the queen in here with all the other bees,
okay.
And clearly the queen is here.
That's nectar. A big larva.
Yeah.
Brood. Pretty healthy for being a transport, right?
Yep.
That's how you know they're ready for transporting? Like they're good to...
Yeah, they've got some frame built up. So see, now they have brood to care for, so they're not going to be too inclined to pack up and move to another place. That's called, if they do that, that's called absconding.
That's so true when you got kids.
You can't move to another place when you got kids.
You get it back up and go.
All right, go ahead and smoke here at the top so I can pull those frames together a little more. What's that? I don't need it. Oh, sorry. Squeezed a few, but not too bad. Oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take some of these out to give us some space to dump the extra bees in.
What if we move the camera just a little bit?
What's that?
So I could see.
You're welcome to reposition it if...
here's the bee trap.
Yeah, we got honey up here. This is some pollen and bee bread. Brood. And here we have eggs. So she's got room to lay. Queen is here somewhere. All right, and the last one. And with this one, this is called a foundationless frame, where I just gave them wooden popsicle sticks at the top to draw their comb from. And they're busy doing that right now. All right, so now, let's draw this all the way over. Oh, interesting. In this hive, they've got these little notches, right? One on each side. That lets the bees go from below the frames to the top, or from the top back down below.
Oh, nice. It's very convenient.
Okay. Now we've got all these bees left.
This is the fun part right here. We got a bucket of bees right here. Is what we got.
See that little larvae crawling around down there?
Yeah.
That is probably small hive beetle.
So we don't want to just dump them in there, right?
Well, I'm going to just dump them in there.
I thought we were going to set them next to them.
Oh. No, I was talking about how we would move the, if I needed to move the mean hive, you know, a big full hive. With a box this size, it's easy enough to dump. We were talking on our road trip down here. Go ahead and set the tripod back up. We're talking on a road trip down here about how you could, I told him I was going to build next year some 25 frame lay-ins hives, because I've got this hive down here. I could move them into one now if I had it. It's only got 14 frames and they're outgrowing it. And he was asking about how you would do that. And I told him, if I'm doing something like this, we just bounce the bees out. But it's hard to upend one of these heavy ones and do the same thing. So the way we're going to get the rest of these bees here is I'm going to put it on a corner, give it a good shake, get all the bees down in the bottom, and then we're going to come up here and do the same thing here. And that got most of them.
Do we need a divider board?
No, we're going to put these frames in.
Okay.
Probably need a little smoke to entice them to go down and find their frames. Try one more time with these.
Got a couple hundred out of there.
Yep. You know what I'm going to do now? I'm going to lay this up here and just smoke the inside of that box. Try to get them to crawl out of it. Probably the ones that are still in there are the young bees that aren't flying yet. They tend to hang on for dear life more than the other bees do. And they'd much rather walk somewhere than fly, because they haven't taken orientation flights and all of that.
What do you call a fly with no wings? A walk.
Okay. Ba-doom boom. Blackland Prairie, apiaries and dead jokes.
Yep. All day long.
10 left. So now, to keep them from flying back in, I'm just going to turn that upside down since I don't have the... Oh, there's the cover. Okay. Hard.
And hot.
All right, now we put some new frames.
It's hot. It's 105 degrees in Texas right now.
Indeed. Not a fun day for beekeeping. Well, it's always a fun day for beekeeping. It's not a pleasant day for beekeeping other than the bees. They bring their own pleasantness. Other than that, the conditions are rather dreadful. All right, bees, we're going to leave you alone. Hope your queen is in there with you.
Got a nice new home. All the luxuries.
There's going to be a lid descending on that location, so you do not want to stay there.
It's got the vents in the lid too. Nice.
Yep. That's going to give me a complication when I go to winterize this hive, because what I do with the other lay-ins hives is to put a wool, a pillowcase with wool inside it over the top of the brood nest.
Are they ready to shimmy?
I have to use 2 smaller ones. Well, no, I think we should raise those first.
Okay.
So you didn't find a level in the bucket? Now I'm going to take a quick peek at these other hives just to see how they're doing for frames.
No level, sir.
All right. All right, take a look here. This is the last frame in that box. Oh, we've had some comb collapse. Bring the camera looking back that way. So they have plenty of space to build down. So I'm not going to add another
there at the bottom.
Another frame yet. Yeah, we had a section of comb that just melted.
Look at that one.
Yeah, isn't that beautiful? So we're just going to let them continue to build those frames. In terms of having comb on the successive frames, they're filling it out nicely.
Yeah, they are.
But they're not building them out to the bottom. So it would be premature to add frames. This one, I'm going to open it. But I think it's the case that, yep, there's no way to add frames to that one anyway. So we'll just leave that one alone.
That was box 1.
What's that?
New box 2.
Oh yeah.
Box 3.
Oh, I gave Rick the right to name all of these. You know what he came up with?
What's that?
The different families of hobbits.
Oh my god.
So we're going to have the Baggins hive, the Underhill hive, the I don't remember them all. He's got a list of about 9 different. And I meant to bring out a marker and maybe start to
Mordor.
No, just the Hobbit families. All right. So now let's take this over here. Yeah. And these are the ones where we just need to add some height. So I'm going to ask you, in this case, I can just stack it on top of the other one for a minute. Yeah, that's going to be better. Let's do that.
You want to smoke a little? Or just get it done?
Let's just get it done. Let me get on the back side.
These guys are usually not that bad.
No. All right. Let's go up. Ready? Oh, yeah. We're going to lift and put it on the hive next to us. Ready? Okay. Good enough. Oh, I'm getting worn out. Hang on. was almost easier done than said.
Do it again.
Yeah.
We gotta put that one on top of the next one?
Yep. Okay. I think we may do the same thing with that one too, just because I think I've underestimated earlier my stamina. Hang on, where's the edge? Okay, got it, get here.
Keep your hands on that.
Yeah, I got it. Oh man, hang on. I can hear some bees buzzing in my ear.
Keep breathing. One more, and that's it. Yep. Ready?
Okay, got it. Yep. Yeah, on that first lift, I was reaching for the corner. And what I was finding, although I couldn't see it to know, was the edge of the cinder block. And I was like, that's not it, that's not it, that's not it.
You almost took a little tumble over there by the tree. Carrying a box of bees.
Yeah. So the bees act like we haven't done anything at all. That's good.
These are the nice ones over here. What if we took some 2 cinder blocks and put it next to it so it's just...
Yeah, let's do that. I'm sorry to let you lift all the blocks.
No, let's do it.
I just don't want to take a tumble.
Gotta earn my honey.
You did that with the 10 Africanized stings.
Nobody's keeping score, all right?
Oh, I am. It's profoundly my embarrassment that I let you do that.
Makes for a good story, you know that?
Yeah, true.
You know how many times I told that?
So that story is, we got called out to do a removal from a water meter. Turns out they were in all likelihood Africanized. So we went out, we were suited up, except that
Wrong gloves.
He couldn't fit in any of the gloves that I had. So he thought, no problem, I've got gloves. He brought his work gloves, and I didn't check them. I just trusted that they were probably okay.
So did I.
And they could sting right through those gloves. So he took 10 stings all together, or 10 stings in each hand?
Oh, it was like 20 stings to a hand.
All right.
Yep.
Don't worry about putting them too close together. We want the weight spread out a little bit. Okay.
Accomplished our task. None of them are even coming after us. Like,
no. Well, we haven't gone into their brood nest.
oh, there you go.
Okay. So that's going to be the end of the video. We're going to try to come back later with a level and level all these up. But we've got them raised. They're all at a consistent height that's friendly to my back.
And mine.
And got a couple of extra cinder blocks for the next hive we put out here. So thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Thank you very much.